Hello, everybody. Live from the garage. Happy Pride, everybody. Look what I got in the mail. Oh, what's happening? Where am I hearing myself? Oh, that was crazy. I had myself open in another tab and I was hearing myself in a very delayed echo. But I got this in the mail today, guys. I got my San Francisco Giants Pride hat and I love it so much. At the top of the hour, I want to make a public correction to the record. Public correction to the record, because sometimes, guys, I am wrong. I get things wrong and I want to correct it right away. I don't remember what stream it was. Maybe it was yesterday or the day before. I mentioned something about Aaron Smith-Levin's mom, Gail, having disconnected from him and his children's. That is incorrect information. That is, I don't know where I got that info. I'll be honest with you. That was just what was always in my mind, that had happened. That had never happened. So that's a story I told myself about Gail. So Gail, I apologize publicly to you for saying those things. Mostly I'm bringing it up, because I got it wrong, but also then because, guys, I want to talk to you about this very serious thing, but we have a neutral alert, who is just like combing all of our stuff for just like anything that they can find, that's incorrect. Okay. And, so to the person who stole the SPTV Foundation name, let's just bring you up here. And we're going to bring up this screen here. So why is it not? Yes, I want to do that. So this is not affiliated with the SPTV Foundation. Oh, they changed it because I said I liked it. Well, that's rude. Now this is me. I was a little tiny bulldog with glasses, a crocheted bulldog with glasses, and now that's me. Or maybe it's not. But this stands for Sapienta Potestas to Vinci Foundation. It's like the Special Potato Foundation. And then they highlight the Aftermath Foundation. Like, could you get more Bajumba-y? I don't know. So they just made this video. Okay. It doesn't have a lot of views. Okay. So people really want to harp on the fact that Aaron's mom is an independent Scientologist. Okay.
Okay. My mom is an independent Scientology auditor.
So what?
I do not.
And then he mentions that, and then I'm going to scrub to the end. And then, they're going to quote me because, Aaron's not in charge of his mom. This is fact. She is a professional field auditor, and she doesn't talk to him because he's a suppressive, and she still believes in Scientology, even though the Church of Scientology. So that is now. I was wrong. Gail has not disconnected from Aaron, and I love how they pull up their comment here. I did reply to their comment. I'll pull up my reply as well. But I did get that wrong. And some independent Scientologists do not talk to SPs. That's just facts. But Aaron's mom and Aaron, they do talk. That's not a problem. So let me just to clear the whole air here, guys. Jeez Louise. Talk about a waste of air here. This, I mean, whatever this is. Where do I want to go? I'm going to go here and let's go to my channel and let's look at me pulling up my pants. So let me make sure I'm not going to start that video because we don't need to hear me in stereo. So down here, because there's a lot of comments, This was one of my favorite ones. I just have to highlight it here. Oh, yeah. Canadians are really nice people, but you mess with Nora and we will bring the full wrath of the North on you and our hockey sticks. Be warned. I really did like that. Where is this little trolley troll comment? They just literally posted this a while ago. So forgive me. And I just want to, guys. Oh, here we go. Here we go. See, here's their 7 hours ago. 7 hours ago, they posted this. And here's my reply. Can I ask you a question? Honestly, why do you care? Your channel is dedicated, from what I've seen, to tearing down Aaron and others, just picking endlessly at all of us for what? Entertainment? Fun? Do you see yourself as some sort of truth warrior, forever correcting the record so that you are on the right side of justice but never accountable? I owe you nothing in the form of clarity or response, because how anyone chooses to tell their story is up to them and only them. You or anyone else do not get to tell cult trauma survivors how to speak about their lives or pain ever. I stand by that statement, even though I was incorrect about Aaron and his mom's relationship, because we are the owners of our stories. We are being vulnerable and sharing that story because it's important to do that, because we need to get the truth out about this ever so destructive cult, not because it's fun for us in any way, shape, or form. Like, I went from helping Natalie this morning, which was my honor to do so, to straight into therapy to talk about all the things that have happened this last week, guys. So it has been a lot. Like, this week has been 75 weeks, okay, with the amount of things and things like that. So, yeah. So I just wanted to say, again, for the record, I'm apologizing to Aaron. I'm really sorry I got that wrong, because I shouldn't, misspeak about stuff like that. And secondly, I want to apologize to Gail for starting a weird rumor. And I hope you didn't get any guff about that. Everything's good in the Smith-Levin world on that side of things. Okay. So let's just let's let that one go. But I just wanted to correct the record publicly. Now, let's get into a really riveting and fun topic: death. So I did speak to my therapist today about losing Tony and everything, but I had to explain to her, my amazing therapist, Nina, why it is so hard for Scientologists to grieve, why we are almost unable to show emotions and allow ourselves to experience them. So please, let's get ready. Get your pen and paper out, kids, because this is going to be an educational extravaganza. And for once, minus that whole hullabaloo shenanigans arama, I have all of my references ready to go over here on my other handy dandy screen. So the first thing that we're going to go over is something that we've gone over before, okay? And that is, of course, the tone scale. Now, for those of you who are new here and are not familiar, and are not familiar, why is it getting bigger and then smaller when I'm trying to make it bigger? Okay, we're just going to keep it there. Those of you who are not familiar with the tone scale, okay, this is how L. Ron explains how we all experience emotions as a spiritual being, okay? This is separate from our body. This is just us in our most pure form, okay? At the top here, of course, you've got serenity of beingness. Then we have postulates. We've got games, action, exhilaration, aesthetic for those artistic folks out there, enthusiasm, cheerfulness, strong interest, right? Conservatism. Conservatism is high up there. Mild interest. Okay. What is that? Gotta take the glasses off. Oh. No, that's not what that says. Oh, right. Contented. Contented. What does that say? Disinterested. It's so tiny, guys. I apologize. Boredom. Monotony. Now, 2.0 is the lowest uptone tone that you can experience. Okay. That is, generally speaking, anything below 2.0 is considered downtone. So being antagonistic, because that's what 2.0 is, you are, still uptone. All right. So that right below antagonism, we have hostility, pain. Pain is very downtone. Anger, hate. Then what is that? Why can't I? No. Oh, resentment. Resentment. No sympathy. Unexpressed resentment. And then everybody's favorite tone to bitch about, covert hostility. This is where he firmly puts every gay, homosexual, non-binary, the whole rainbow right here. Covert hostility. This guy with the thing behind his back. Okay. Anxiety. Anybody here have anxiety? No? Just me. Okay. Fear. Anytime you experience fear, this is where you're at, guys. 1.0. Despair. Sympathy. Sympathy is a bad tone in Scientology. Don't have any sympathy for anyone. Propitiation. Grief. Right here. 0.5. The act of mourning. Grief. Way down here. Making amends, undeserving, self-abasement, victim, hopeless, apathy, useless, dying, body death. Apparently, as a spiritual being, you can just be in the tone level of body death. Then you have tones below body death. Failure. Pity. Pity is below body death, guys. Shame. Shame. Accountable. Blame. Regret. And then there's a bunch of body stuff. Controlling bodies, protecting bodies, owning bodies, approval from bodies, needing bodies, worshiping bodies, sacrifice. Sacrifice at minus 6.0 is also where L-Run categorizes sex. All sex is sacrifice. Hiding. Being objects and being nothing. Yes, accountability is below death, Barb. Accountability is below death. Correct. This is why Scientologists don't want to be accountable for things. It would mean they're super down tone. Yes. So this is the tone scale. Now, let's go into a couple key definitions here. As a former word clearer, this is my bag, baby. So now, let me pull that up here. So we're going to go here to the admin dictionary. Okay. And we're going to take a look. There's two different things here. Okay. The cycle of action and the cycle of life. Okay. Cycle of action has as its exact center conservation. Start, increase, no change, decrease, stop. That is really the cycle of action. There is a complete, maybe right in the middle of the cycle of action. That would be the null between the increase and the decrease. It would be the null point between growing and decaying. There's a plateau in there where something hits. It's an effort to maintain the state. Also, he says, definition 2, the creation, growth, conservation, decay, and death, or destruction of energy and matter in space. Cycles of action produce time. Start, change, and stop. Okay, we're going to simplify it. So, cycle of action of life. The cycle of action of life is creation, survival, and destruction. Survival could said to be any change, whether in size or in age, in position in space. The essence of survival is change. Creation is, of course, starting. Destruction is, of course, stopping. Thus, we have in Scientology 2 very useful cycles of action. The first of them being start, change, and stop. And the more detailed one being create, survive, destroy. Start, change, and stop imply the conditions of being or an object of a being or an object. Create, survive, destroy imply the intention of life towards objects. Okay. So, as you can see, Scientologists learned very early on that death is just the stop in a cycle of action. You're completing many cycles of action during the day. It's a statistic. It's something you ask, what I'm in the middle of a cycle of action. I can't talk to you. I'm busy. That's what Scientologists would say. Okay. So then let's go. Oh, I have that up twice for some reason. Let's go to this one. And now, in a book called Advanced Procedures and Axioms, L. Ron talks. Oh, he just talks and talks. But let me share what he says here. So this is the section on responsibility. Okay. And if you're ready to get your head twisted, here we go. Definition: responsibility is the ability and willingness to assume the status of full source and cause for all efforts and counter efforts on all dynamics. There is no compromise with full responsibility. It lies above 20.0 on the tone scale, which we just went over. Okay. So just to refresh you on that, the tone scale, okay, just to bring that back up here because it's in 2 different, it's not a tab. I have to. So 20 and above on the tone scale would be just these 4 things: action, games, postulates, and serenity of beingness. Okay. So anything below that is not full responsibility. Any other emotion, not full responsibility. Okay. So let's come back to this one. It's like 20 clicks, guys. I apologize. Here we go. There is no compromise with full responsibility. It lies above 20.0 on the tone scale and is descended from in order to affect randomity, but is descended from with the full knowledge of its assumptions. It means responsibility for all acts, all emotions, on every dynamic, and in every single sphere as one's own. It includes such disrelated, in quotes, data as the death of an individual one has never met on a highway on which one has never traveled at the hands of a stranger, no matter how culpable. One does not send to find for whom the bell tolls without full willingness to have tolled it and to have caused the cause of its tolling. There's a scale of responsibility between full responsibility and full other responsibility, where the former is above 20 and the latter is at 0. Complete negation of responsibility is complete admission of being under the complete control of the environment. Assumption of full responsibility is a statement of control of the environment and persons within it without necessity of control. Okay. Are you guys confused yet? So, when it comes to death, you are responsible for that death, whether it is yours, someone else's, random people in the world, Because if you are in that full responsibility band, right, between action and tone 40, you are responsible for everything. The literal everything of the world. So if your grandma dies, you're responsible for that. And the only way to handle that is to be fully responsible. Now, when you're fully responsible and you're up tone, you are definitely not crying. No, 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 no. You are serenity of beingness. Okay. Now, special bonus, thanks to my dear friend Liz Gale for sending this to me. I have the entire, and this one's going to be fun. Not really. Ceremony for Scientology funeral. This comes from a very old book of ceremonies and things. All right. So let's dive into it. All right. So funerals, procedure for conducting a funeral. I've been to many Scientology funerals, and this is exactly how they went. Founding Church of Scientology funeral service by L. Ron Hubbard, a funeral oration for Homo sapiens by Mr. Tom Estabrook. Procedure for conducting a funeral. Here we go. Conducting a funeral service in the church. The minister sees that the ushers are selected from among the family of the deceased or his friends and selects the pallbearers in like fashion. No one is seated before the processional begins. Very important. The minister may lead the processional or be at the pulpit as the procession enters the room. The order of the procession is pallbearers or preceded or not by the minister, followed by the immediate family and then other family and friends in order of degree of relationship and closeness of friendship. The ushers are in the procession and seat the people as the casket reaches the stand in front of the altar. The center or right aisle is used by the procession on entering. After all are seated, the minister then begins the ceremony. At the completion of the ceremony itself, the pallbearers approach the casket. The procession is formed, led by the minister in the same order as entering the procession, and leaves the church. The minister may end his part of the ceremonies at this point and go to the cemetery, depending on local custom and whether or not the deceased is a member of an order which will handle the services there. Conducting a funeral in the home. This is, like LRH wanted to cover all of his bases here. The casket may be in place in the room or may be brought in processional as in a funeral conducted in the church. The minister sees that there are pallbearers or ushers in either case. The minister may be already positioned at the head of the casket or where the head of the casket will be, or may enter in the procession, the order of which is the same as in the funeral conducted in the church. The same degree of formality is necessary as for the church funeral, and the same conventions of entering and leaving apply, with the exception that the casket may already be in place. However, the entire service may be much shorter. Here also, the minister may or may not go to the cemetery on the same basis as the funeral conducted by the church. All right. Now, here is the church service. Founding Church of Scientology funeral service by L. Ron Hubbard. Our loss is gain in other times. Our hopes on future bent must then depend on incidents like these, for bodies wear, and in the fine grist mill of time are spent in service such as yours. And go our time by smallest time into the yesterday, wherein began the conquest of eternity. What did we know when yesterday we wept? What grip upon us had our ignorance, that we in our conceit did feel that all of us were mortal here, and lives once led were spent and wasted on our selfish selves. How narrow is such scope to feel that we should be eternally the goal of all the toil and wretchedness from birth to death? And like a play, the curtain dropped and left an empty stage. How dull of us to feel that we were all the target of this strife, and that we lived but once, and living that did reconcile the whole world, the whole in one brief life. Oh no, a wider drama here was planned and staged, and we with narrowness of mind did overlook the plan. We said, that all is mortal flesh, the spirit just a thing to send for pence to some strange heaven, there to waste its skill, or had we not the price to some deep other place to pain and waste again this life? To what dark depths were dropped our minds to feel that flesh is capable of love or trust or livingness, to feel that fingernails and masks are all we need to dream? To what deep place did our love go that mask could recompense? Anxieties that ruled our years were nurtured here, and we, made blind and dumb by other greed, spanned down our lives to one. What waste to feel that all our love, our work, our gifts, our knowledge, and our sighs were meant to be consumed all in one breath and flash, and by one name? Today, come wiser now, the chain's gone weak, the tyranny of cult gone tired with the years. We look, we find, we live, not once, but on and on, from body's birth to body's grave, and then to birth again, and yea, to grave again. So dispose possessions oft come undone with livingness. From century to century, from age to age, and on we go on and march along the path that leads forever up the countless tick of time. We crawl, we walk, we fly, we win. From here and evermore, the heritage of all our lives, and spend it once again. Why is this no sad and bleakish look, no sorrowed thing, this life? This is an adventure pure, where without knife or provender we leap aloft into eternity and span forever in a breath. This is adventure where we step from tie to body tie and go our way. Our suffering is self-centered here, for we have lost in truth the smile, the touch, the skill and happiness we gained from deceased, who gave us from their past ability to live and fare against the tides and storms of fate. It's true we've lost his shoulder up against the wheel, and lost as well his counsel and his strength, but lost them only for a while. He goes not with the dismal roll drum, but with a whisper, like a fairy's sigh, to smooth the way for when we come. He'll be in some good future time and future place, his smile, his touch, his skill invested there to make a way of life. True, we may not know him then, and only know his work, but still, if we've not sent ahead our Vedas into time, we would not have a race. And so branched off from this genetic line and into some, did I go to the wrong page? Hang on. No. And so branched off from this genetic line and into some new corner of the world, we've sent you, and there you'll be. We know it now, a smile, a touch, a happiness for us, and you could not find it on earth. And so it turns the day, the year, the age. And so we go with banners furled and quietly upon our way, but we know and now we'll find the way. Into the dark has come the light, into tomorrow enters night, into heaven go no more, into life our spirits soar conquering ever wisdom's store. We do not tremble. Oh, that's the, I think I went, oh, no. Sorry. I thought it was the end, but it's not. Hang on. Conquering ever wisdom's store. We do not tremble faced with death. We know that living is not breath. Prevail. Go and take the life that offers now and live in good expectancy that we will do our part. Go. You can control that which you must. Our loss is gain in wisdom and in skill to future dates and other smiles. And so we send into the chain of all enduring time our heritage, our hope, our friend. Goodbye. Your people thank you for having lived. Earth is better for your having lived. Men, women, and children are alive today because you lived. We thank you for coming to us. We do not contest your right to go away. Your debts are paid. This chapter of your life is shut. Go now, dear, and live once more in happier time and place. Thank you. And now here, lift up your eyes. This is them talking to the congregation. Lift up your eyes and say to him, goodbye. Everybody has to say goodbye. Goodbye, our dear. Goodbye. We'll miss you, you know. Let the body now draw away to be consumed to ashes and to dust in earthly and cleanly fire to be no more, no more. And that is done. Come, friends. He is all right and he is gone. We have our work to do and he has his. He will be welcome there to man. And then people usually clap. That, guys, what you've just experienced. Now, there was like a revision later, but it's basically the same thing. That is how you say goodbye to somebody in Scientology. It's over. It's over, Brian. It's over. It's over. Yeah. And then when you're done with that, maybe you get like 5 minutes to grieve. And then it's back to post, guys. Back to post. Let's go. Production. Production. That is Elron's attempt at poetry. It's really bad. It's really awful. When that is what you're preached to when you lose someone, it takes a very long time to learn how to properly grieve that loss. And thankfully, Natalie will never have to hear that for Tony. That has nothing to do with him. That was the gibberish that was said aloud when my father passed when I was 19 and I was in the Sea Org. Yeah. That was a tough moment because the only kind of human moment in that ceremony for me, and recalling the various ceremonies I've been to, is that kind of moment when you look up at the sky and say goodbye, right? You do feel like in that moment, maybe someone can hear you. Maybe they'll say something back. Maybe, something will make you feel like they're there with you. And often you don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure, hopefully, most Scientologists who have passed are like, thank God that's over. And whatever they're in, they're never coming back to that, because that's just awful. But you never know. I just feel like what I wanted you guys to understand is that there is no crying in Scientology, right? There is no emotion that is a correct emotion, except for, of course, serenity of beingness. They tone 40, right? Serenity of beingness is also another way to describe somebody as OT. And when you're in the Sea Org, you're automatically dubbed OT because you have to make everything go right. You have to make sure that every action that you do is done here at this portion. Of the tone scale. Any other tone is unacceptable than here. So, as an example, when I lost my father, I was 19. That was 1995. So it's been 29 years this year. In October, it'll be 29 years. And he passed unexpectedly of a massive heart attack. And which wasn't, looking back on his health and everything, that's not a shocker. His father passed the same way. His mother and brother both had heart conditions where they had bypass surgeries, and he neglected to do anything for himself. So him, passing in that way was not a complete shock to me. But still devastating nonetheless. At that time, I was the recruiter at Celebrity Center, a supremely vital post, apparently. And I was given an emergency leave of absence so that I could go and handle my family. My stepmother, who did not get along with any of my dad's family, decided to have him cremated before his own mother could say goodbye, before she had a second to grieve over his body. And I had to, go explain to my own grandmother why everything was okay, why this was exactly what my dad had wanted, etc. That broke my grandmother. She never recovered. My dad was her youngest child. And it was downhill from there for my grandmother. And she wasn't that old. I believe she was in her early, maybe mid 60s at that time. So, yeah. That was a supremely tough time to go and be an adult while barely being an adult at 19, consoling my mother, consoling my sister, consoling my grandmother, my uncle, my aunts, all the while also trying to explain why Scientology is a good thing and why it's not a cult and why, my dad's participation in it was okay, and make up these things about how great our relationship was when it wasn't, and all these other things, all the while not shedding a single tear for him. I shed a lot of tears when I found out, which of course was not the correct reaction. And when you are hysterically crying and screaming and having a very visceral physical reaction, Scientology does everything in its capacity to shut that off. When I was told the news of his death, I collapsed. I was screaming. I was crying. I was then taken outside because that's a disturbance to everybody else. Can't have all that, gross. And was walked around the block for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, I think, so that I could go look at things. Until I was coherent enough to eat some food, to be sessionable, so that I could then go get the loss of a person assist, where they're going to audit out all my pain so that I can then come up tone and be tone 40. And they're asking me these ridiculous questions. You know, look around here and find something that doesn't remind you of your dad. You know, I mean, just complete. And I realized in the middle of the session, that I wasn't getting out of that session until I had some form of cognition or win about, you know, being over my dad's death. And I went and floated my needle and then went and saw my sister and just went into just hyper mode, you know? And it's a very weird state to put yourself in, where you have, I know disassociation is probably the correct term, but I feel like it was like more than disassociation, because at that point, it was the first time I really figured out how to completely wall a section of myself off and put it so far away that even I couldn't see it anymore. I wasn't going to look at that grief or touch it or allow it to exist, because it was harmful to me. It was dangerous. Grief is dangerous because it means that you are maybe not clear. Maybe you're a no gain case. Maybe you're suppressive. Maybe, you know, why is your dad after death still being an external influence on you? All these things and feelings and emotions that you're not allowed to have. Shortly after that, that was the first time I tried to leave the Sjorg, was shortly after that. I was now looking back on it and the things that I said, I was severely depressed, like gonna unalive myself depressed. And that's basically what I said. And I was told that I was being dramatic and I needed to knock off my case on post and to, you know, I'd be lucky to get another job still in this prestigious org, you know, because I was such a POS, you know. And so over the last few weeks, guys, we've seen, I mean, today we're all experiencing huge loss of Tony. Even though Tony knew it was coming, and as did Natalie, and you know, I'm so happy that he was surrounded by love and friends and family, and of course Natalie, to end his life, you know, in that way, on his terms, is a wonderful thing. Is a wonderful thing. And you know, in the recent weeks, Aaron has expressed just a tiny bit of the extreme grief of losing his twin, Colin. And I have been so proud, honestly, of both Aaron and Natalie for their absolute raw vulnerability to be able to feel that grief and express it to the world at large, because you know, this stream isn't about me expressing grief, but I feel overwhelmingly proud of them and all of us for being able to have real emotions now, because that has been one of the hardest parts of healing from Scientology, is being able to be okay with whatever emotion is there, whether it is a happy emotion. Even that took a long time, guys, to be like, am I really happy? Am I just making it up? Am I waxing enthusiastic? Or am I like genuinely joyful in this moment? And now to be able to, experience grief and sadness is a lot of times overwhelming, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Allowing these emotions to come out after having them locked away for so long, sometimes they are a bit of a tidal wave, and that has been really hard to figure out and navigate, because I wasn't ready for all these real emotions and things. I consider myself to be pretty expressive. I'm very animated. And most of the time, guys, I'm, a happy-go-lucky person who's, masking a lot of pain with humor. As most most comedians and people who are very funny have a lot of trauma, turns out. And to be able to just hold space for people that I love in their time of need has been really everything. It's been really everything for me. And I just, it is, yeah, it's been a lot, guys. But like I said, I just want to circle back. Natalie, I love you. She knows I'm here for her, but I just wanted to say that out loud. And, I'm so proud of her for being here to tell and share with the community what had happened. And it's just amazing. I do want to get to these comments because we've got Nancy in the back here, and I want to make sure I get to everything here. All right. Thank you, Donna Hannibal, for becoming a member. That's amazing. Pause for Andrea. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for being there for Natalie on behalf of all of us. So loved. Feeling true grief over this devastating loss, yet thankful that we got to know my Tony. Absolutely. Absolutely. He was awesome guy. A cat named M. Thanks for helping Natalie this morning. You're a lovely friend. Hugs to all those who loved and were loved by my Tony. Absolutely. Gotham was the best cat. Nora, I wish we had real life friends like you. I hope. Wow. Well, thank you. Everybody should have real friends. That's important. Jersey Jan 527. Thanks for being a member. Hey, Louis. Hope you're feeling better after your ordeal. Yes, guys, please give your support to Leaving Scientology, Louis Repetto, who had a run-in with the Popos yesterday, but love to Louis as well. Capricious Caroline, thank you for being a member. Nora, being humble and kind with this apology. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Pocono Pluck. Can you imagine having the time and hatred to create a site like this against a foundation to help people escape a cult? No, actually, I can't. I really can't. Constance June, I thought Chris's Potato Smith Levin video was funny, but whoever does that SPTV site is gross. Yeah. There's a difference when you actually know somebody and you're friends and you give them a little guff, rib them a little bit, and trying to destroy them online. Two totally different things. Two very different things. Lady Pamela, thank you for being a member for a month. Susan P, a member for 2 months. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. And thank you for being here. Kelly Clancy, this is hurting my brain. Yes, it is hard to wrap your mind around. Pocono Pluck, I'm picturing and hearing Charlie Brown's teacher. Yes, that's a good one. Mock Mirdo Chagall, thanks for being a member. So does that make Scientology responsible for my brain ouchie? Yes, it does. I think you should do a workers' comp claim on Scientology. Barb M, is selfishness downtone? Yes. Yes. Yes, it would be. Scooter Bomb Scientology audit in Canada. I love it. Thanks for being a member. My boobs are too big for the like button, but I hit it. Awesome. Awesome. Barb M, this makes absolutely no sense. No, none. This is the point, guys. Nothing L. Ron wrote makes sense. None of it. Brian, how you doing? The worst thing is it doesn't seem like it's going to end. Yeah, it is kind of, yeah. Kelly Clancy, so he stole from Shakespeare and Poe, still lacking his own creativity. Yes, he thought he was both of those guys, but better. If you guys don't know who Poe is, it's not Poe on the go. It's Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, moving on for those of you who needed that. Brian, Nora, please stop now. I'm sorry. I didn't stop. I finished it. Christina Radish, this is giving very Peanuts teacher. Yes. Amber, what are we reading? Is this LRH stuff? Yes, Amber, you got to remember the famous, come on, the funeral. Dealey Bob. Treasure Rescue, aka Queen Bean. Morgan Freeman's voice couldn't even make this sound good. No, it couldn't. I'm Morgan Freeman. Blake Reed, thanks for being a member. Thanks for the super chat. We're here now, Nora. We're listening always, but never leaving. I appreciate you. Amber, if you cry, they would say, knock off your bank. Exactly, which means crying or whining. Yes. No bank. No case on post. NatCat180, thanks for being a member. Stupid question, but how do you not cry? I'm assuming you have to disassociate. That's inherently traumatizing, not being allowed to feel or express emotion. Nailed it. Nailed it. Yeah. Yeah. There's a poem, another poem from L. Ron. The Joy of Creating. I'll see if I can find that. And that really more explains your question. That's the wrong thing to search in, Nora. Let's look here. No, that's also wrong. Please hold. I'm in too many. Where did my other? No, I need to. There it is. There you are, you little devil. There we are. Joy of Creating. Let's see if I can find it. No, gross. What's that? I don't know. Is it there? No. No. I have a folder, guys, that has all of the things in it. It might be in there. And you can search it, but when I put in like Joy of Creating or Joy of Creation, it just gives me like so many different references that it's not the exact one that I'm looking for. Let's see here. There's a song, guys. There's a song, but I'm not gonna play that for you because that's gross. Here we go. It's on the Scientology website. Of course it is. Of course it is. Here we go. Okay. So this is the answer to your question, NatCat. All right. Force yourself to smile and you'll soon stop frowning. Force yourself to laugh and you'll soon find something to laugh about. Wax enthusiastic and you'll very soon feel so. A being causes his own feelings. The greatest joy there is in life is creating. Splurge on it. That, my friend, is how you do that. You just repeat this to yourself, like a toxic mantra. And then you just become hysterically manic, and then that's fine. Yeah. But it's not Friday yet, Scooter Man, but I wish. Comment from Northern Girl. Aaron Mom, FYI, I've seen correction banners added to the original vids, correcting mistakes, so the mistake isn't out there in space until the correction vid is found by viewers. Okay. Comment, you lost me at Minister. Yep. Not gonna lie, you had to mute. That's okay, Princess Bride. No offense taken. Amber, my mom would play LRH lectures when I would go to sleep. I hate his voice. I hate his writing. I hate everything about him. Twinsies. Does the clapping wake you up enough to even get back to post in less than half an hour? Yeah. You just go. You just go back to post. Nora, you have a great voice, but it did nothing for that crap. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to be buttery smooth. But yeah, that's the best I could do for that. Jen Nelson, no parent should have to bury their babies, no matter what the age. This is correct. That is awful. Amber, no crying. It's not okay. They get mad at you. Thank you, Amber, for the backup here. Correct. Shula G, thanks for being a member. How awful for you. Pull out everything human about you. Correct. Yes. And Castillas, thanks for being a member, and thank you for the super chat. I'm eating Canadian cheesers, and it's all your fault. I watched you, I think, during protests, eat them, and now I pay Amazon way too much money to get them in California. Raises fist to sky. Nora! Canadian cheesers. Was I eating that? I don't know. Somebody must have given that to me. That sounds good. And Castillas again, terrorizing, disassociating training. F Sciento forever. Yes. Barb, I'm so glad you're here sharing your story and living your best life. Thank you, Barb. Thank you. Blake in the house still. From the eye of the storm, I see every second gen standing in unison and in front row to the destruction of the buildings that took everything away from them. We need only brave the storm together. Yes. Thank you, Blake. Thank you. Jennifer B, be proud for yourself too, girl. I'm working on it, Jennifer. I'm working on it. And thank you for being a member. Tony Hoban just became a YouTube member. Thank you for that. Barb, again, mad love for Natalie and Tony, and prayers for everything she's going through right now. Absolutely, guys. Prayers. Yes, Liz Ferris in the house. What's up? Yes, we do stand together and Scientology. 100 P. Donna Hannibal again. Not only do you help in times like this, but you help me every day learn to not let the unkindness in this world change the person I am. You help me to be humble and kind. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Absolutely. And guys, I'm going to pop this up here. Thank you, Nancy. This is Natalie's GoFundMe. You guys may have seen it earlier. I'm going to refresh again to see where we're at. Wow. Guys, I want to share this and pop it up here. Let's keep this going. This is Natalie's GoFundMe. We are now at $29,235. This is amazing. This is such a great picture of them. This is the forever picture of them. And Liz Ferris has been a member for a month. Thank you so much for that. And if you guys, please do go to Natalie's GoFundMe. And hey, Pearl. And make sure that we just give what you can. And make sure that we keep putting Natalie in our heart here. Because it's so very important during this time that we all show her how loved and just amazing that she is. Thank you, Liz. This is very generous. That is very kind. Thank you. And Kitty is now a new member. You guys can thank Liz and Ann Castillas if you've become members. Thank you, Ann. Because guess what? We're making it rain here in the chat. And Jen's a new member. We've got a question here. Boop. From McTwin. What happened if you did cry? Bad news bears. That's what would happen. You would be told basically no case on post. That's backflash. your downtone, go right up your ovates. That's HENR, which means human emotion and reaction. Guys, being a human, bad. Don't be a human and have emotions and reactions. Not allowed. Not allowed. Okay. Yeah. Nothing good. Nothing good would happen if you did cry, if you showed emotions. Sarah's a new member. Look at that. Just getting these new members popping off here. I love it. Catherine says, thank you very much for her membership. Wonderful. Oh my goodness, Mexican long hair. Thank you for being such a great friend to Tony and Natalie. And thank you, Mexican long hair, for being out there every day in Denver and protesting. If you guys are not subscribed, oops, wrong place, to Mexican long hair, please give him a subscribe. He's amazing out there protesting on behalf of all of us who are not in every city. Hello, Selfless Self. Yes, Togetherness Fest. Love it. Well, that's what, here's the deal, guys. My wife is a never in. Tony was a never in. Thank you for being a member for 2 months. Scientology is diverse about bullying people. Yes, they are. And I've learned so much from her and been able to thrive because of her and because of her perspective and because of her loving me through so many things in the 7.5 years that we've been together. And oh, Jennifer, I'm keeping it together for the stream here because and I kept it together for Natalie because it's a lot of big emotions. I'm sure it's going to come and go. Grief for me comes in waves, and it comes at weird times, and it comes with all kinds of things. I can watch a random commercial, guys, and I'll be bawling my eyes out. I can watch a dog video on Instagram, and that's it. I gotta go take a nap. So it's just yeah. I do. Sharon, welcome to membership. There you go. Thank those ladies. But Tony was such a champion for us. For all of us born-ins, exes, people who have been touched by Scientology. And I will never forget his generosity, the way that he loved Natalie and healed her from Scientology with that truly compassionate and complete love. And he modeled that all the way until his last moments. And that is a lesson that we can all take away from his life and keep this fight in mind, in that, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, the never ends, including Tony, are going to be the ones that take down Scientology. Because with all of you standing with us together, we are the biggest and most powerful voice against Scientology that has ever happened. And we need to continue doing that with the protests. We need to continue doing that by creating content here. We need to continue doing that in whatever way you've been doing it, whether you're submitting those reports to the FBI that Fat Grammy put out, whether you're writing into your Congress people about getting Scientology's tax exempt status examined, whether you go out and physically protest or support protesters, all of it is important. What is unimportant, and what I try to remind myself of on a daily basis, is that all of these little petty foibles and minor upsets and all these other things in the grand scheme of things are so irrelevant and unimportant that death does nothing if, for me, I'm losing my words because I'm starting to get sad, but death brings those things into perspective. What's really important. Because when you're lose something, someone as powerful, as loving, as pure as Tony, you know what's really important in the world. We all know what's really important in the world. And that is being there for each other and getting the kids out, getting the elderly out, helping any single person leaving Scientology who says, I don't know what to do next. How do I live this life? We're here for you. SPTV Foundation is there for you. I'm there for you. If you're here on this chat lurking, please reach out. I'm an email away. It's so easy to say thank you, to say I love you, to say kind words of support and encouragement. Like, you can have a life outside of Scientology. There is so much happiness and wonder for you out there. And I want everyone to experience that. I want everyone to experience this beautiful, beautiful life that we're all living out here. And I want to remind the protesters, everybody who's protesting, please be kind to yourself. Please take care of yourself. If you need a break, if you need to step back from protesting for a day, for a week, you don't have to make an announcement about it. You're not beholden to any of us. You are doing this out of the kindness of your heart, and I appreciate it every single day. So please, please take care of yourself. If you need assistance, if you need a shoulder, if you need someone to talk to, please reach out. Do not do what we did to ourselves while in service to this cult, and do not harm yourself to try and save other people, because it doesn't work out. It just ends up in chaos and hurt and upset. Okay. I love you guys sincerely. There's one super chat that went by here from Brain Fog, I think. How come I can't bring it up now? Where'd it go? Let me pull it back here. Just scroll back. There you are. Thank you for this super chat. You're my hero. You make me have hope in the cause. I hope so, because there is hope. There's a lot of hope. I have so much hope. And yeah, for those of you who missed my stream earlier, this is very true. There was a little shenanigans. I did not go live when I thought I was live, and it was really beautiful, guys. And I do think Tony got a kick out of that. I know Natalie did. And if I can make her laugh today of all days, then mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. Guys, it's Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. It's Pride Month. And thank you, Cuddly Floof, for being a member for 2 months. And I really, really want everybody to take time to do exactly what everybody's echoing here in the comments. Be humble, be kind. Listen to that song if you've never listened to it. It's on the other stream there, Tim McGraw. It's a great song and a great video to remind us that we are all human beings, and being humble and kind is the best that we can do, the absolute best that we can do. So I will see you guys next time on the Flippity Dippity. Thank you for being here.